Then.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, and good afternoon to all the fellow panelists. At the outset, let me first commend the person who has crafted this title, right? Crafting the symphony. It sounds so beautiful, so good, so musical, yet it's challenging when it comes to programmatic, right? Crafting programmatic or crafting symphony in a programmatic in today's scenario has really been very challenging, has become really challenging. And if you look at programmatic in India, right, it's roughly a little over a decade old. And most of us here on the stage and in the room must have seen it evolve over the years, right? And transition from early years where we were questioned as why we should be doing programmatic to how we should be doing it in the right way. And today, as we stand and speak in 2023, I think we are at crossroads again, right? Especially because of so many changes and challenges that have cropped up in the ecosystem. And it's forcing us to stop, relook, reassess, and discuss what next for programmatic, especially from the Indian context, and how we should be fine-tuning, as it says, for the Indian audience. So we have very elated to have this panel quite experienced in this domain. And let me start with you, Pankaj, right? You leading a programmatic native platform, right? What, according to you, are some of the challenges that you are foreseeing in the ecosystem, and how is it going to impact the marketeers, right?
See, programmatic advertising has evolved a lot, and right now there's a lot of data. In fact, one of the key pillars for any programmatic advertising is the data. The next big challenge which is coming, or the industry is grappling with, is phasing out of the cookies. What will happen to those campaigns when there will be no data? I'm able to, target campaigns based on the data which are available, and this data help us to actually target campaigns and communication to the users. So this is one of the challenge which is happening, and somewhere the other big challenge is on the publisher side of things, wherein there is little bit of hesitation when it comes of sharing data. So we also work with publishers at large when we tell them that, okay, we're gonna place a hard-coded code on the website. So most of the time they will ask us that, what will happen to my data? What kind of data you are collecting in. So data is one of the challenges which we are facing. Also in terms of communication, because one size fits all is not the scenario in the current time. And when you don't have data, you don't have the cohorts to target in. Somewhere you have to go with the same mix and match of the communication throughout. So that can become a sort of, challenge going forward.
Sure. So, Prabh, you've seen it all, right? Starting from like leading a big programmatic platform to now leading Samsung ads. Especially, what do you think are some of the programmatic challenges, right? Or principles which are getting challenged currently? And how do you foresee marketers, trading through it, right?
Well, I think 10 years down the line, fundamental. I don't think there's challenges on the technology side. Yeah. There are more challenges on the human side of things, because if you look at any agency or a marketer team which is dealing with multiple platforms, they have to learn and equip and be ready to use those platforms. So I don't see tech is so much of a challenge. I see more on the soft side, the human side, where the challenges are popping up. The fundamental premise that programmatic was designed, if I take you back to 2013, when we started DoubleClick Bid Manager or Invite Media, the fundamental premise of programmatic was you should not be doing insertion orders to buy display and video inventory. That is how programmatic started. Yeah. You're buying ad networks, you're buying publishers. You don't need all of that. It has to go through one single automated system and do that. Fast forward 10 years down the line, there are so many choices that a trader or an advertising professional has to deal with that he gets confused. And if you ask any of them, the utilization, the feature utilization of any tech platform is actually below 10%.
Yeah.
Which means people either do not have time or do not have sufficient training to use that particular platform. And we look for escapists way of saying why we're not doing this. So you get data nahi chal raha theek se, ya creative nahi hai, your strategy bahut sari hai, and so on and so forth. But fundamentally, I think there's a challenge on the human resources side. The tech is ready to get deployed to its full potential, but it's not getting deployed because we just don't have enough people doing it.
Yeah, agree. Coming to you, Vijay, you represent WhistleFEED, and it's a unique programmatic ad platform, right? And that empowers brands with some text and tile ads and some more solutions that you have with you at your end, right? But if I just translate and take the same topic of challenges, Pankaj has already told about some of the challenges. Do you have something more to add to that, or you view these challenges in some other perspective?
Yeah, so adding it to Pankaj, actually, programmatic advertising, I mean, we've been to discussing with a lot of advertisers, and there are three major concern of the advertiser as ad fraud, सबसे major concern. How we are going to prevent the ad fraud? Ad fraud like impression bots, click bots. How we are going to measure that? I mean that is very serious concern for the advertiser. Second is brand safety. So when we say brand safety, I mean it is a both side. Like it's not only the advertiser, it's from the publisher itself. So I lead WhistleFEED when so I lead partnerships and alliance also, and I lead demand side, so supply demand both. So I take care of demand and supply. But when I speak to even partners also, even they are very conscious about, and they're very concerned that what kind of campaigns you are running on the on websites or apps. Yeah, and it's a both sides. So the brand safety for the partner side is also as well as in the demand side. Right? This is the second concern. Third is challenge at an ecosystem is the transparency. I mean, more transparency. So when I say transparency, then it is all about the visibility, viewability, how much viewable, I mean viewable ads, मतलब कितना % मेरा ad दिख रहा है, half ही दिख रहा है, पूरा दिख रहा है, and all that. Where, what inventory you are giving. I mean they're very concerned. I mean, and that's the concern for all marketers and the brands.
Just to add, of course, these are concerns largely of programmatic because of bulk buying. Yeah. But I think this fraud is just not limited to programmatic, it's the entire digital ecosystem. Yes. It's just programmatic gets highlighted, right? Yeah. So moving to you, Pankaj, you mentioned a lot of challenges, and we have already entered the cookieless era, right? And there are a lot of alternative solutions that are coming up. It's already there in the marketplace. And one of them is obviously contextual targeting, which is gaining a lot of prominence. How do you think marketers should harness content discovery or contextual targeting to address the current imbroglio or the future imbroglio that we'll be in?
In fact, when we talk about contextual intelligence or contextual advertising, in fact, we all started with the contextual advertising. Even in the print, when we used to say, we used to do media planning or buying, we used to say, okay, I want to target business class, let's go to Economic Times, Financial Express. You have different publishers. And when the entire digital also started off, we used to go to the verticals. We have sports vertical, and right now we are again going back to the same level of, but it is more evolved as compared to what it was. Powered with the AI, because we as in company also, we launch our contextual intelligence tool, which is sitting on all the publishers, which scan all the pages of an website and see what kind of content. And with the help of AI and technology, we are able to get the positive or the negative context. So possibly this is a news which is of an Israel war, or is a news which is going on between the war which is going for 1 year. So what is the positive context of this thing? So that most of the brands will say, okay, we can't advertise here. So understanding the context is something which is very important, and that looks like a solution for us. Also, gone are the days when your plain vanilla advertising will work in programmatic. Now, every one of us wants the ads to be more personalized. And if you look, for example, the person who is in South in Tamil Nadu, he is looking at the communication will be quite different, the person who is sitting out of Punjab. And somewhere, as a brand, I need to use these signals and customize my communication in such a way that it will be sort of rewarding for the user, and also you will get the better returns or better ROI during this. So this is in one way wherein you can harness the, your contextual intelligence and contextual targeting, and that can be the perfect solution. Having said that, it will not be as accurate as data or cookieless, because somewhere you will not be able to get the history of an user, but at least to the context what I am reading, I will be able to customize those ads.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of these contextual technologies of today are using NLP in natural language processing. And having said that, when you say a lot of these case studies will show that contextual targeting has performed better than your audience targeting, right? Coming to you, Prab, I think you've been speaking to a lot of marketers, right, as part of leading Samsung ads. What do you think? See, marketers undergo a lot of these challenges, right? What do you think are the top 2, 3 major challenges that you're coming across when you talk to them?
I think from a marketer lens, we heard from the previous panel as well, there is definitely higher pressure on return on investments.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time in a very long time we are getting questions on how can you help us improve margins on marketing spends. There is more choice from a marketer lens. Back in the day when you and I started, there were only a handful of platforms that you would advertise on. But today, on an average, one advertiser has a choice of anywhere between 30 to 50 advertising platforms.
Okay.
I'm not even counting content platforms, because content is actually treated separately from advertising. And then you have the rest of the fraternity in the space, which is print, television, content placement, so on and so forth. So the big challenge when we are talking to CMOs is that, yes, I've got a budget. Yes, that budget is growing, not in double digits anymore, but single digits. The fundamental question is, how can you help me reach newer people, like we heard in the previous session? And how can you help me drive better return on investment from the lens of that either I'm getting incremental customer base, or I'm reinforcing my brand that when this person goes to buy a product, my brand is top of the mind in terms of recalling that. So that's where we see the challenges are more pertaining, and it's simply because there's more choice. And there's more pressure on profit optimization than it was in the past.
Years, agree. So, Vijay, looking at the topic, right, it's like crafting the symphony for programmatic from symphony within programmatic in the Indian context, right? So we have been hearing this for a long time now, that going vernacular is key, and we should have been done that long back. I don't know how much marketers are exploring this, going vernacular and going regional. What do you think? How should marketers harness this particular trend? I would not say trend, but maybe an opportunity, and take this idea.
This is actually a really interesting question. So, WhistleFEED is contextual. It's a content displays. So what feed is basically trying to communicate to the advertiser that, hey, we have 11, 13 languages. So feed is content. I mean, it's a content-driven display. So we have a display content where we are giving an opportunity to the advertiser to frame their ad in different languages. So the importance of languages, just take an example of matrimonial sites. So there are different products depending. So example, if you're running campaign in Tamil Nadu, being a state of Tamil Nadu, they love Tamil. This is a trend. So if they look at your ad in Tamil, the response is more. This is what our data says. If the ad goes in English is universal. It's a global. So it goes. Everyone reads English. Everyone knows English. But इफ एग्जाम्पल आपको अगर मैसेज भी आता है ना हिंदी में, सो यू रीड, बट आप इंग्लिश मैसेज देखते हो तो आप इग्नोर करते हो. सो कंटेंट प्लेज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन every campaign. So what, when we build up this product, we always, focus on the content, because content is the heart of the campaign. So it is going to give you a lot of, so when we say, okay, there is a, because when the client read or the customer read the content and they say, okay, ये अपने काम का नहीं है.
Right.
They will not click. But I'm not saying that it is all, but content is important.
Content is king.
Yeah, very important for all the campaigns
from
and
some of
and the region. So basically, regions depending, like suppose I am going to give you my experience when, everyone is customer in our life.
Of course.
So I fallen sick. I was at my native. This is a quick example of myself. So then I realized, okay, yeah, this is very important. So example, healthcare industry. Is Tata 1mg is there in the tier 3 city? So I was just searching for Tata 1mg for my blood collection. No, I did not find, because it's a tier 2, tier 3 cities mein nahi available hai. I have to go to the center, local center, and I have to take my blood. I have to give my blood. So ये यहाँ पे ना बहुत, it's a tier 3 is a region wise, and the vernacular plays a very crucial, very important role in all, for all audit advisors. So this is what exactly.
Definitely, and as some of the reports and data suggest that over 90% of the content being consumed in India are in vernacular languages.
Yeah,
so why not craft your content and your ads?
And even
in
CTR of, compared to the English, CTR in that particular regions is higher than the genuine clicks. I love, because I love to click the content in my mother tongue. Okay, looks, the people attract. If it is in your mother tongue, it is in Tamil. Tamilians immediately click करते हैं. If it is Kannada, immediately click हो जाएगा. So CTR should be, CTR तो बहुत मिलता है market में. People are just, say, yeah, मेरा CTR इतना है, मेरा CTR, but how much CTR is genuine, that is very important. Because that CTR is leading to your lead, then your lead is leading to your, the purchase or the bottom of the funnel. So top of the funnel हर कोई देता है, but that CTR, which is the base, should be very important.
Sometime it should translate into your business outcomes at the end of the way, in one way or the other. Just moving on to you, Pankaj. In the last answer, you just mentioned about, you touched upon your AI and the new solutions in place. And today we are hearing a lot about Gen AI, a lot of innovations happening, right, in this space. What do you think marketers, or how do you think marketers should be ready to harness this particular advent of AI or Gen AI in the ecosystem, right?
So, taking the conversation from the regional aspect, when we say the next set of growth will come from tier 2 and tier 3, in fact, if you see the new launches of televisions which are happening, we are going more of in regional level. You have Bengali, you have Gujarati, you have Punjabi, these kind of languages coming in. So somewhere when we talk about AI, one of the big challenge which digital industry has faced in that all the websites are in English. So no matter whatever you do, whatever communication, end of the day, he's going to land up to the, a page which is based in English. And we talk about data protection, that how this AI can help in, if it is trained well, it will be able to go on all the regional languages and pages and get the information and understand the context. Thus, it will help all the publishers and advertisers to, better the ad experience for the user. We need to also look at supply path optimization, because in the long run, if the data is gone, and by Q1, 1% of the cookies will phase out, and by Q3, it will be N. So how to optimize that path by partnering with the other technology partners, or looking at data clean rooms, or looking at Google innovation of sandbox. Those is something which is required. And as Prabh mentioned, that technology is there, but we need that adaptability, or we need that consensus that, yeah, we should be going. That human element is very crucial and important.
Right.
Because even though I might have billions and trillions or zillions of data available with me, I don't know how to utilize it. I don't know what to do with that data and how to update that data, because I'm sure in the data that I'm in, staying in Maharashtra, I would have moved 10 years back to Delhi. So that updation of data is also very important, and utilization, and it should be considered effort that should be taken by the marketers.
Fantastic. Taking this forward, Prab, right, there has been a massive shift in the way content is being consumed, especially video consumption. And you've been in a space, you are in a space where you are actually monitoring it, right? What do you think, how big is this opportunity, especially from a video programmatic perspective? And how should marketers ready themselves to harness this opportunity?
Oh, that's a day in, day out question for us. So one big thing, and everybody knows this by now, that streaming is here to stay, right? And streaming was largely concentrated to the small screen devices. And very quickly we are seeing streaming is now accessible to our large screens as well at home. And streaming fundamentally started because there was a lot of content which you could not watch because everything was appointment based, right? So if you remember, the evolution of digital video was catch-up TV, or people will upload episodes onto online platform, then you watch it. We're at a point or an inflection point in the history of distribution, specifically content distribution, where in the next 2 to 3 years we will not have that much large-scale satellite-based distribution, and distribution will shift to digital, which is streaming. Like how cinemas have gone from carrying those reels, and now you get a digital copy, and the cinema can broadcast a 4K picture on that screen. So that's exactly what's going to happen in the broadcast world. It's already happening in markets like Australia, US, where people are disconnecting their boxes. We have seen across the Samsung TV ownership where I can tell you people in 2022, we had about 50,000 TVs which are a third-party device connected to the TV.
India?
In India. That is now down to 2,000 devices.
Fantastic.
So which means the large screen device is getting more connected. People are switching over from traditional or broad or satellite-based distribution to digital-based distribution. And once that happens, one very cool thing that opens up is you get to know as advertisers how many people are actually tuning into that content. But the big challenge in the distribution world is broadcast quality content versus social media content.
Right.
And I think that's what the advertisers are struggling with, that where should I be putting the big dollars behind? Should I be investing getting 15 influencers to cover my product? Or should I take that money and put it behind a sponsorship, behind it, in a title event that is taking place in sponsorship? So that's where the shift is going to happen. And I think in the next 1 or 2 years, the TV guys will, or rather now also, we've already heard of TV guys talk the digital language. The TV sales will move to CPM. Everything will become measurable. And streaming will no longer be traditional versus digital. It'll all be digital.
And are you seeing marketers already gravitating towards it?
Oh yes, we not all of it. It's the classical early adopters who have certain models built into their business teams who are already seeing that shift, and they are they're working with us and a couple of friends in other parts of the world. But the majority is we're not there either. We're happy with doing performance marketing. We're happy doing digital, etc. But there are those 3 or 4 guys who are like, no, we are going to leapfrog and we're going to be ready for this change when the change happens.
Sure, a lot of opportunities there.
Absolutely.
For sure. Moving on to you, Vijay, right? The era that we are entering, or as I say, we have already entered into, right? I've always felt that real growth happens only in collaboration, right? Not in competition. How do you feel, what is the way that publishers and brands should collaborate to tide over, or rather in the new ecosystem that is coming up or already there?
Yeah, so collaboration is very important, as I was just mentioning from my last question. So collaboration, when we speak to the marketers and brands, सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन आता है where we are going to give. I mean, what is the inventory? What is the publisher? सबसे पहला question. And publisher also, what is the campaign? What is the brand? Because both are very, I mean, it's demand and supply side, both are very conscious about their brand image. Both. If it's big brand, big publisher, and I mean, there are so many things.
Actually,
everyone. I mean, it's not the case like publisher is not thinking about their reputation or their brand safety. They also, because being leading both the businesses for the partnerships and the demand. So I understand both psychologies. So collaboration plays very important role when we are doing brand dealing and of your partners onboarding. When I speak to advertiser, they said, okay, what is the inventory? First question. Okay, first is what is the partner? Second, what is inventory? Are you going to put me on the top or are you going to put me on the bottom?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is we call an ATF, BTF. It's in the programmatic level, above the fold, below the fold, or middle of the article and all that.
Yeah.
So we normally, as per our data, we just found that, I mean, it depends. See, every platform ka alag data hai. So what we have identified that our clients want more visibility, more viewability of the ads. So we are going to give us the article pages of the news websites. There are three kind of websites right now we're working with. The web publishers, apps, and we do also have OEMs integrated with us.
Right.
So another platform, I mean, we are the platform, we are integrated with OEMs, publishers, apps. I mean, they have the platter of inventories now. But again, whatever inventory you have, collaboration is always important when you're dealing with the brands.
Perfect.
Yeah, it plays very important role in terms of the collaborations. Yeah.
Prab, coming to you, when you were mentioning about the basic programmatic principles, right? I think all of us aware and everyone is that data-driven advertising is something that perfectly correlated and correlates with programmatic. How do you see this translating in a connected CTV environment? I mean, how should marketers look at?
In the TV environment, I think the only thing which changes quite dramatically is that because TV is not a one-to-one device.
Yeah.
It's a co-viewing device. So some of the classical digital targeting methodology do not work in the TV space. So how TV is sold? TV is sold on content, like you would advertise on KBC, advertise on Big Boss, advertise on roadies, etc. That's how TV is sold. TV, and basis that content, you know who is watching or who's consuming that particular content. So in the connected TV ecosystem, while you can bring everything from the statistical world and modeling world into buying and analyzing your data, what shifts a bit is targeting cohorts.
You're right.
Because at no point in time a TV can tell you who is watching it or who viewed that content. And therefore, we have a completely different, I would say, data sets for targeting TV specifically, which does not include demos. It does not include your age and gender.
Right.
But what you will soon start to have is definitely psychographics, behavior, as well as some bit of what that household is doing. That's about a year, 2 years out. But other than that, everything is digital.
I think those are good enough data points for any market here, right? And we're almost time, but I think a programmatic session should not end without a question on first-party data. So quickly, Vijay, again, as so many problems cropping up, not problems or challenges, I would say, first-party data is emerging as one of the solutions that all marketers should be focusing on, right? How should and how important it is, and how should marketers approach this?
Okay, so as a WhistleFEED, we are ready for future. When I say we are ready for future, we are not dependent on the cookies. So, does it sound interesting? So, there are so many ways to do it, but we are cookieless. We are not dependent on the cookies. So we are ready for the future challenges because as per the market trend, 1% Google is going to eliminate from the world.
Cookies, yeah.
Cookies, yeah. And the first quarter, 60% tak eliminate ho jayega. So we are ready for the challenge now. But my suggestion to the advertiser is, by using the first party cookies, I mean, they should look at the customer understanding first. Then they should segment their customer, and then they should do retention and loyalty program.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I think first-party cookies will continue to exist. It's the first-party data around mobile numbers, email IDs, or device IDs that I think marketers should start focusing on. We're almost time, but if there are any questions for the panelists here, anybody wants to ask any question? I think we have crafted a perfect symphony then. Anyways, I think 30 minutes too less, but I think a lot of important points got discussed. And to craft a perfect symphony in programmatic, a lot of steps will be required from everybody, whether it's brand marketers, publishers, content creators. I think we're looking forward to it, and let's hope we create the perfect symphony going forward. Thanks all the panelists, and thanks for sharing your views. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much to all of our speakers. I'm just going to request you to remain on stage so that we can have our photographer come over and capture a group photograph. Thank you again for filling our